what is an ideal ownership structure? Should I buy it in my own name? Should I set up a limited company? Given the tax situation, which keeps changing every decade, and property is long-term, which you want to leave behind for your future generations, all of those considerations aside, what are your views on different ownership structures?
I mean, look, I think there are horses for courses here, and I'm sure again Tony would have his own feelings on this. There are more things. There's an old adage which you shouldn't let the tax tail wag the dog. So, we shouldn't be wholly driven towards certain tax outcomes because fitting various ownership structures. One of the things, for example, that should be thrown into the mix is succession. So, tax is very much about now, and tax planning is very much about tomorrow, but succession is also about tomorrow, where, not only succession within the family, but succession with a business. If you're growing and generating a business, is it easier to do so with a limited company structure? Do you have trading elements within your company structures that would actually be prejudiced? For example, funding opportunities, because some funders don't like to work with trading entities, some do. And so do you need to have a various sort of holding companies, operational companies, asset companies within your structure? So taking advice as to the correct structure at the correct time is part of that. But for me, for example, succession is often overlooked. Funding isn't so much of a problem these days with tax structures, limited company ownership structures or private ownership structures, insofar as certainly in the specialist lending market, there is relative parity in rates as between private ownership and limited company ownership. There are fewer limited company lenders than there are personal consumer nature lenders, but there is relative parity. So it used to be the case 5-6 years ago when there was a marked discrepancy in rates available between the two, but that is certainly not the case these days. Certainly with some of our lender partners, the origination that's coming through is biased massively towards limited companies, because that is certainly the flavour of the month. And so, without wishing for everyone to be sheep following one particular direction of travel, there is also a certain safety in knowing that is a well-trodden path. Not so well-trodden and delivered necessarily with all service providers, whether it be lawyers, valuers and the like, because there are some lawyers that excel in limited company work, some that don't. So there are some sort of decisions that need to be making down the road as to having the right service partner for your right structure. And finally, one of the things I would say about ownership structures is do not underestimate the amount of admin work is involved in delivering a limited company asset structure year in, year out. It is not just about doing something for the day. There are returns and filings that have got to be made continually throughout the life of a limited company, and failing to do so can be quite catastrophic. So make sure if you're going to do it that route that you know how to fill out forms, which lawyers love to do, but it really shouldn't be forgotten.